So this is game 2 in the Megarith series. And this is on Torrent Crater. So just to recap, since we haven't actually done an Artifact Cup like this in a while, because we've sort of changed formats, Artifact Cup 32, which this game is from, was played as a single elimination... Oh, no, excuse me. It was a round-robin tournament, not a single elimination. So every pair of players gets a game, and each round is determined, and it's a one game, it's a best of one kind of game. So these two players were paired together and told you will play on Torrent Crater. So there wasn't a voting process or anything like that. So this is Megarith here, who we are going to be following through this process. He's going to start his salvaging on some CUs, go directly to RUs here before he moves on to this base. You can notice though he's already got his rally point set there, so he's going up to at least 7 salvagers, maybe 8. And his opponent is Masque of the Red Death in that red, bright red Coalition carrier. So another CVC game, Coalition versus Coalition mirror match. Masque not quite moving the base runner out or doing anything like that, while Megarith is already more than halfway to the artifact there. But there's some time, so Megarith can, or excuse me, Masque can still get onto an artifact soon if she acts on that. And notice I do have my replay viewer mod, so we can see that Masque is researching light assault vehicle fabrication while Megarith is already getting AAV fab. So fixed that. Masque going for an early support cruiser, so she wants to get those CUs. Well, she wants to get 2 pockets of fast. She actually only had CU salvagers here and didn't even build RU salvagers before going for that support cruiser. So super early greedy support cruiser. Not a move I actually would advise if you're playing Coalition, mainly because you can kind of do what Megarith is doing, where you just build the salvagers and remote mine, and then you can build the support cruiser. And in the meantime, you're getting resources, while Masque here, it's like, okay, her carrier's freed and available to be at this resource point, but isn't even salvaging yet. Meanwhile, there were 4 salvagers here instead of 6 for a while, and so soon Masque will be getting a better income than Megarith, but for now, Megarith has a vastly superior income, and these units are coming over basically for free. Take a look at tech again, though. AAV fab is up for Megarith. Megarith is pumping those out. Masque might spot this because there's no AA here to shoot down Masque's units. Meanwhile, Megarith is spotting Masque. Masque is not yet picking a tech. And Megarith looks like he's setting up a turret. The reason I say that is because he totally had the drop on this artifact, but chose to just let Masque have that, and he's maneuvering here, and pretty weird move. So Masque is going to nicely snag that artifact, despite being really late to the whole moving your base runner game. Oh, careful though, because there's maybe a turret coming up here. I don't know. AAV fab going to be coming in for Masque. And no other tech yet for Megarith. Let's take a look at resources though. Masque actually stockpiling quite a few resources, probably because these LEVs and AVs have been produced by Megarith. Masque Space Runner probably going to go down here, unless you can get AVs out stat, which I kind of don't think will happen, but she's going to try and use the carrier to shoot off these LEVs, which might actually work if it doesn't mess up the base runner's pathing. Masque's bigger problem here are the AAVs from Megarith, which are now going to have free reign to just really mess with this this resource extraction zone. Now, luckily for Masque, Megarith is doing well, kind of the smart thing, which is attacking the support cruiser, right? If you attack the support cruiser, it's not getting repairs, so all your damage is applied to a unit, and you attack the support cruiser, it's expensive. It's a lot more efficient than killing each individual salvager. On the other hand, if you don't kill the support cruiser, you've done nothing. So Masque can now come over with the carrier and build some AAVs of her own, and maybe stall this attack before the support cruiser dies, especially if she pulls the support cruiser back right now, which she's not doing. So that support cruiser is going to die. That's too bad. I think pulling the support cruiser back and then, you know, moving it over here where the AVs are covering, and then just using the carrier as the drop-off point would have been a really good defense there, and then the missiles are here, and yeah, I don't know. hindsight is 2020, and I have not just hindsight, but God vision in replay mode. Here's Megarith's turret at last, which is going to be kind of annoying, but actually it's going to die almost as soon as it's produced. It's only done a little bit of damage to that AAV. And actually what's going on here now is just there's this slow battle between these armored AAVs and these not very powerful carrier. Masque could have maybe gone for a couple levels in power reserve, or just go for the railgun tech, which is actually what she did, and that's the smart thing to do. Meanwhile, though, Megarith super paranoid about air, getting a missile battery, and not yet going for railgun tech. Oh my gosh. So Masque's got a railgun. Masque now should be in like full recovery mode, right? You fought off the attack. There's this scout, which is really annoying. Build a base runner and deal with that, I guess. But map control wise, Masque actually has it. Masque probably does not at this point in the game feel like she has map control, given that her economy was just kind of trashed. But she's got 4 salves here. She's got 4 salves here. Salvagers are not active, so those need to be F3. If you press F3, it rotates between your inactive salvagers. I think she's realizing that now, or at least with this one, maybe. But she's got map control. She's got railguns where Megarith doesn't. Megarith doesn't have any other tech, is getting fighter and gunship fab, but yeah, Masque can just go totally for rebuilding the eco if she wants, and push out. In fact, I would say, granted, I have a little bit of, you know, given that I can see everything, it's a lot easier for me to say, but in that situation where you repel an attack, it can often be very good to take your AAVs and just immediately walk them over to the enemy base. Because what would Megarith do? He's got nothing. And, you know, you might lose your AVs in the process, but Megarith might lose his economy in the process. Pretty good trade. So now, unfortunately, Megarith's going to have time to build that aircraft, which are going to do a whole lot against these railguns. But Masque is getting missile battery fab, so this could be really interesting. We've got a very narrow window of opportunity during which Megarith can use those aircraft unimpeded. And we've got this kind of narrow window of opportunity during which Masque could strike against a weak Megarith, but it doesn't look like she's going to do that. She's going to be pretty cautious. Rebuild the eco there. And just try and deny this extraction here.
Logistics module out.
And look at Megarith, so cautious. Anti-air turret post here in the middle of the map. And no sign whatsoever that there's air coming from Masque. 4 AAVs is maybe a little bit much here, but maybe Masque will do what I was thinking, which is move forward and raid Megarith a little bit. A little weird that she didn't bring the railgun support, but maybe she was just worried about another AAV assault, which is very reasonable, although the reasonable move in that situation is scout, which is exactly what Megarith is doing there. Gonna get shot down by a nice base runner placed there by Masque.
We need a turret set in place. Op ready. Reading you.
Strike fighter online.
Confirmed. Ready. Send.
Support cruiser now.
A lot of strike fighters here from Megarith. I really want to see missile batteries come out from Masque. There would be nothing more satisfying than just seeing all of Megarith's strike fighters getting shot down. Would be very, very satisfying. One thing that Masque could do as kind of a last-ditch maneuver would be use the AA turret ability on this base runner, although it's still timing out. So here come the strike fighters, and there is no counter available here. Masque is not producing. Well, wait, what is Masque producing? My UI is a little bugged, so it's not really showing.
Copy. Green line verified.
Masque is really annoyed by those 4. Oh man, this is gonna. Okay, so a lot of missiles there wasted on just like 1 or 2 salvagers, but now the support cruiser is under attack.
Alert. Light attack vehicle destroyed.
And this is enough strike fighters to probably deal with that. The base runner's little autocannon not going to be nearly enough to fight down these strike fighters. Masque has got to be producing a missile battery soon. And this base runner could place down an AA battery, but Masque is not quite that fast on the placement. Now the support cruiser coming out, however. This would be an excellent time for Masque to roll in with AAVs, by the way, because you know what? Megarith just committed, and his fighter's gonna have to recharge. So like the second that Masque came under attack, it would have been really good to just like quickly select these, right-click in there, and
Deploy a turret on the
or just like, you know, control drag on those, and bam, like there goes Megarith's economy. He won't be able to do anything about it. Nothing at all.
Strike fighter approach vector dialed in.
attack course set.
There is a wing of 3 strike fighters in here, but still, that would have been pretty nice and strong. Here's the missile battery coming in. These will shoot down some of these fighters, maybe. These fighters are bunched up too, so these front 2 fighters could get some combo damage from the missile battery.
Interceptor taking
Apparently not. They broke apart just in time. Oh, look at that! Nice AoE hit there. More harassment from these stupid LAVs that Masque has been fighting off this whole time with no success. Also worth noting, Masque has been scouting this point for a long time and never moved some AAVs over there to go harass that. That's been wide open, and these railguns have never done anything this whole game. Masque finally has the ability to move out with them, given that there's a missile battery, and so she could take these 4 railguns forward and harass this resource point, harass the carrier, all kinds of things to harass, and Masque actually has a very good unit composition to deal with what Megarith is throwing her way. And she has the perfect counter as far as tech goes. If she just puts all of her RUs toward missile batteries and builds those up here, you know, these are very expensive aircraft. And when you invest that much, given that a few missile batteries can really asymmetrically just dominate all of these units, especially the way Megarith is commanding them to move around, the way they're bunching up and stuff like that, I think it's very worthwhile to try and do that. Unfortunately, 1 missile battery is not going to be enough to deal with this. It can get kind of nuked down. So, oh, here are those AAVs, all kind of bunched up and taking a lot of damage, but this is such a bad use of fighters by Megarith. To fight AAVs? Desperate gambit to get that base runner in maybe, but it didn't work, and that's a lot of missiles. It's a lot of time that Megarith is giving Masque to build more missile batteries and railguns.
Enemy armor disabled. Reporting. Push her through. Go ahead.
Not really sure Megarith got much for that. And I think in that situation, the essential thing would have been come in, take down the missile batteries. Make Masque despair at the idea of anti-air by using air to take out anti-air, right? Masque actually has, let's see, lots of RUs. So building missile batteries, completely a valid move. We can see there's 3 out now. 3 now, if they're clustered in an area and not completely spread out, is enough to take out those aircraft. It's enough to do quite a bit of damage anyway, and reduce it down to more like 4. But Masque has not done a very good job projecting force across the map or finding and probing at the, actually, you know, she found those weak spots, but has not done a good job at probing those weak spots, and has had railguns the whole game that have not been destroyed, but have also not been utilized. And so finally these railguns are moving out, but I think this is a wasted opportunity. And meanwhile, Masque has been just kind of always playing catch up on the economy game, while she could have probably been hammering at Megarith's economy the whole game. And has also been having a lot of trouble with dealing with these LAVs from Megarith. Although we got missile batteries here with mortars, so
hold and stand by. Move it. This is the captain. Go go.
These railguns will sneak in and they will do some damage, and there's nothing here to produce units. So Megarith actually, if Masque doesn't deviate, oh my gosh, Masque, please just go right into the economy. You could just win by going right into the economy like that, and then just, oh gosh, really? A nuke? That's just mean. Okay, so I tell you what, this is how Masque wins this game. Masque runs, takes literally everything, moves it here, uses these railguns to kill that support cruiser before the aircraft launch here, and keeps these missile batteries alive and runs with them and just intercepts that way. That's how Masque wins this game. Do I think it's likely? Not really. But even at this stage of the game, it is still possible to base trade and win a game like this because of how unprotected Megarith has been at home the entire time. The one upside of Masque not pressuring Megarith at all at home is that Megarith has his guard down.
Systems online. Artifact position authenticated.
And instead, Masque is coming back to do a valiant last stand, which is going to kind of not work. And by kind of not work, I mean really not work here. All the strike fighters are going to come out and bombard the carrier. And it might take a little while, but Masque's carrier will definitely go down.
Move into escort formation. Level steady. Maintain power up.
Weapon systems are at maximum.
All these missiles just raining down from the sky. Let's actually check out what happened with these railguns. These railguns never made it to this support cruiser over here.
Attention.
And there goes the carrier.
Battle report. Hostile carrier critically damaged. Mission success.
I would say that game came down in large part to asymmetrical information. I think if Masque had scouted just a little bit more here, she would have realized just how weak Megarith was. And a lot of it is sort of perception too, right? Like Masque is feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm under attack. Megarith has such great map control. But as I mentioned early on, I think Masque actually had good map control for a large part of the game and just didn't know it. This is why scouting can be so important. You might think the enemy is all over you and they're really strong, but really they're kind of bluffing because they just threw away all their units against you. All right. On to the next.